Hi, I'm Roger Denley from Underwater Engineering. Underwater Engineering creates competency schemes for the offshore industry in the disciplines of diving, marine and ROV. Today, I'm going to give you a brief outline of the competency schemes that we've created and the type of competency scheme that we can create for your organisation. A competency scheme must have the following 7 things before it can be a proper competency scheme. It must be owned. In other words, you must have a competency manager. It can be a diving project manager or a quality manager or a safety system manager, but it must be owned by someone in the organisation, no different to a quality management system or a safety management system. It must also be an IMCA member. The contractor must already be a member of IMCA. The candidates must be qualified. They must be qualified divers or captains or chief engineers or ROV pilots. Competent assessors. You must have competent assessors within the scheme and they're trained as part of the scheme. Logistical support that issue the certificates and maintain the database. Motivation incentive. This could be their pay or it can be employability unless they contribute to the being part of the scheme. It must have a dedicated competency assessment and training system notebook. Okay, these are an example of 3 of the schemes we've created. McDermott's in Baku, Subtech in Qatar and AdSun in India and the Middle East. Timeline. Just as a rough outline, it takes 4 to 5 months for Underwater Engineering to implement and fully hand over the competency scheme to the contractor. Underwater Engineering will create the scheme, obtain the software, install it on a notebook. It takes around 30 days. Underwater Engineering will train the competency manager and train the assessors, 2 of each discipline, diving, ROV and marine. That takes around 30 days and about 2 full days for each of the assessors. The competency scheme for all remaining candidates takes between 60 to 90 days, so the entire scheme takes 4 to 5 months to fully implement. The competency manager performs the initial brief to every individual or as a group, issues the training record books. The assessment is done using assessors. The assessors pass the notebook with the tracking forms and assessments to the logistics staff and a certificate issue. When the competency scheme is installed on your dedicated competency scheme notebook computer, it looks like this. It contains an IMCA competence assurance video which outlines competency schemes in accordance with IMCA. It contains a competency scheme guideline, which is a document that everyone has a copy of. It's about an 8-page document. It explains the entire scheme. The positions for diving, marine and ROV, and each person has a training record book which they take away and use to log their training. There's other information on assessors and verifiers training checklists, external hard drive for Verifire Pack contents, and suggested improvements and audit. I'm going to go through now in a bit more detail.
A competent workforce is a productive one and operates with fewer risks.
The Competency and Training Scheme Guideline. Everyone is given this document and it explains the entire competency scheme. And these are the positions: diving, marine, ROV, scope and application, vetting, aims and objectives, training procedure and training packs, assessor requirements, conducting assessments and the tracking form. Okay, diving. These are the positions that we cover in the scheme: air diver, bell diver, diving supervisors, air and bell, life support technician, dive technicians, senior dive technician, diving superintendents, field engineer, reports coordinator, rigger foreman and rigger. Just to give more detail on what the diving training is, for example, if we click on that, we can see safe operating procedures,
training record book, other required reading, media review and a competency tracking form. The Safe Operating Procedure is a large document which contains 35 different types of work that a diver commonly does. You can see there water jetting, propeller work, riser installation, abrasive cleaning, stinger checks, etc. Every one of these types of work has technical and safety information in this document the diver needs to know. Okay, this training record book. The training record book is filled out as the training is completed, as he completes the reading, as he completes the media review. The verifier will sign it off. And there's also some tasks that will have to be performed under observation of the verifier, which will be signed off. Everyone in the competency scheme has a training record book. This is required reading. Every diver will be required to read certain IMCA documents, other documents. Required media. Here's an example of one of the required media items, a lift bag incident.
Yes, okay, so saiu, né? Ok, fazia. Já daí. Solta ele aí, Flávio. Solta, Flávio.
Okay, as you can see, that didn't go as planned. And the training and competency document at the end, which is filled out by the assessor, which is information on his personal data, his qualifications. There'll be a bunch of questions from the training, which he'll have to complete to 100%. There'll be a bunch of questions from IMCA, he'll have to pass at 100%. And then if all successful, the individual receives a certificate, valid for 3 years, a certificate of competency for his particular discipline.
In the Marine, we cover right from master, chief mate, DPO, engineers, able seaman, electrician, rigger foreman and riggers, crane operator and heavy crane operator. ROV, we cover supervisor, ROV senior pilot tech, ROV pilot tech grade 1 and grade 2. Assessors and verifiers, there's a checklist for the assessors and there's a checklist for the verifiers. And we have a hard drive of training information for the assessors and verifiers to give to the people, the candidates that are doing the training. Okay, that completes the outline, and we hope you enjoyed the information. If you need any more information, please contact me at the email above or directly to my email below. Thank you very much.